Hello and welcome to the KylerKast. My name is Kyler Lynn, the host of said KylerKast, and this is our first ever inaugural test trial run. A little background about me. I am a sophomore at the University of Pittsburgh, majoring in finance, supply chain management, and business information systems. And today I'm joined by two good friends of mine, Tanner Gorseth and Dom Semrel. How about you guys introduce yourselves?
What's up? I'm Tanner. I go to WU. Let's go Nears. I'm a sophomore. I'm a sports management major.
What's up, guys? My name's Dom. I go to Penn State University. I'm a sophomore as well, studying architectural engineering.
Great to have you guys on here for our very first test trial run.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Thanks, man.
I'm very excited for this one. This is going to be a great time. So I kind of wanted to start off with, speaking of college, so how did you guys decide to go to the university that you ended up at?
All right, I'll take it away first. So before senior year, I was like, do I want to go to an Ivy League school? I was like, GPA is good. And then senior year hit, and I'm like, there's no way I want to do that. So I visited Penn State with one of my good friends. He took me to a football game. Loved the atmosphere. I was like, I could see myself going to a school like this. So I applied late August, heard back like late October, and got accepted. And that was the only school I applied to. So for me, it wasn't too hard of a decision. I got accepted to one school, accepted the offer, and now I'm here.
All right, Tanner, how about you?
My mom went to West Virginia, so I always grew up like a fan of West Virginia, but I really had no clue where I wanted to go, and probably till like halfway through senior year, I was thinking about playing lacrosse. I toured a few schools, and then I kind of got burned out with lacrosse. I got accepted to West Virginia. I'd always been a fan, so I was like, all right, I'll go to West Virginia, and I've been there ever since, and I love it.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys both got your schools that you really liked. A little background for the listeners that didn't know. I actually transferred to the University of Pittsburgh. I first originally went to RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology, doing computer engineering and business, and decided that I did not like it. And I left to go back to Pittsburgh and go to Pitt.
We are.
Anyways,
Sorry.
I dropped all the engineering and went full business. And I know going to college can be kind of a tough thing for a lot of people, not knowing how to adjust to living on their own, kind of, especially for you guys. You kind of went a little bit further distance. Well, I did too for Rochester originally, but being further away from home, not having the ability to rely on people, your parents, kind of close friends to kind of help you through something. So what's the biggest challenge you kind of face in your freshman year of college?
So for me, I wasn't too worried about academics going in, just because I had done really well in high school. So I figured I killed high school. College should be the same way. I don't think the social factor was an issue, just because I'm an outgoing guy. So I tried to talk to everyone I met, just develop relationships with everyone I ran into. Figure making my circle would kind of help out in the long run, and also in the short run, just having more people to talk about completing homework assignments, hanging out, stuff like that. So I would say for me the biggest challenge was just adjusting to the workload, because we all here on the podcast went to Seneca Valley, which is a good high school. I mean, don't look at the news right now, but it's a good high school.
Yeah, definitely do not look at the news if you're looking at Seneca Valley.
But
it's been a rough week there. It's been a tough week, and not sure to be proud alumni right now.
We're just alumni right now.
We're just not proud, just alumni.
Yeah, but with that being said, the workload was not what I expected. It was much more difficult. So just adjusting to how much more time I was going to have to put in to get the grades I wanted, I would say that was probably the biggest adjustment.
I know, we were close in high school. I know you kind of weren't as involved workload-wise in high school. You didn't do a ton of work compared to college, obviously.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because a lot of high school is you kind of...
Once you figure it out, because even through high school, I took basically all honors in AP classes. So you could kind of figure out how to work the system and get all A's in that with not doing homework, not studying. It was pretty easy to figure out, I can get all my homework from the smart kids. I can look off their papers because they're oblivious. And that wasn't how I wanted my college career to be. So figuring out that I wanted to earn and work for everything I had to do, and on top of that, it was much harder to earn those grades, was definitely tough.
That's awesome. And Tanner, what about you? What was the one of the tough thing for you going into college?
So unlike you guys, I didn't really give a shit about grades in high school. Like I did all right. I did fine, but I mean, I didn't really care. So going to college is obviously a lot different. I had to put a lot more time into stuff because it's college. It's not as easy. And living on my own was definitely weird too at first because you can do. I mean, now you can do whatever you want, and no one's telling you have to do this or you can't do this. So
you have to make sure you're kind of being responsible.
Yeah, you gotta balance your time, and I definitely struggle with that early, but I think I've figured it out now, and I'm doing okay.
Kind of going for the first couple weeks of college, and you kind of realize, oh, I have to do laundry. Clothes are dirty.
Laundry is my worst enemy. I think since I have attended college, so. We're finishing up our first semester of our second year, so almost 3 semesters in. I think I've done laundry at college 3 times, maybe 4.
How did you?
You got that much clothes up there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have a large wardrobe. That's one factor. Another factor. So last year I always worked it with the schedule of when I was coming home, when I could bring my laundry home. So I brought it home for every break we had, and then a couple other times that I just visited home. And then this year. So last year, I think I only did it twice the entire year, and that was both in the first semester. Second semester of freshman year, I never did it at school. I just it's not even hard.
It's definitely not. It's
not difficult. I know how to do it.
I'm assuming you're using.
A pain in the
yeah,
ass.
it can be a pain in the ass to stupid. You use Tide Pods. I'm assuming, right? You don't use detergent or anything. It's not that hard.
I think my mom's a big couponer, and we have hundreds of bottles of detergent. So
yeah,
but I mean,
that's different because I have Tide Pods, so you throw it in. Yeah, I mean you set.
You literally just throw it in cold on the.
Yeah, call my mom.
What
do you put the laundry at when you did it? And that's it.
Yeah, and then that's how.
Dark colors get the colds. The whites get the warms. Kind of flush out that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the simple things that kind of get you whenever you kind of go into college that you take for granted when you have it at home.
Even figuring out what I wanted to eat was I've always picked what I've eaten. I feel like once you're 12 years old, you get to you eat what your mom makes, but then
you
once
also
you get older,
you get to order yours for yourself off the menu.
Yeah, you also order for yourself off the menu, but
yeah, you know what you want.
Picking I'm not a huge I don't work out. So keeping my body at an okay physical level, you have to monitor moderately what you're eating, because if you're not working out,
that's the freshman 15 right there.
Well, see, I can't gain weight. I think I've been the same. I've been 145.
Yeah.
I've been
hashtag
I've been
blessed.
145 since I think sophomore year of high school.
Well, some of us aren't all that lucky, and I know that some people, especially I went on a pretty hardcore diet my first semester of college.
I feel like you've dabbled with a few diets here and there.
I've dabbled
Keto,
with
I don't even know.
Hey, at least I didn't do the Cantaloupe Diet. You know what that one is, right?
I did not do the Cantaloupe Diet, but we do have a friend who did it.
Oh, that was what I was referencing.
I'm not aware of this.
So we had a friend of ours, a good friend, actually went on a diet. He called it the Cantaloupe Diet, where he ate strictly cantaloupe for about a month.
Yeah, to drop weight.
That sounds absolutely.
I think it was for football too.
It was for football, yeah.
Because back when we played youth football, well, you had that. I mean, you had the weight requirements, and he was always borderline.
Mm-hmm.
So I think was it his parents who put him on that?
I think
Cantaloupe?
It was no. It was his parents had put him on it. They're like, hey, you should just eat healthier, and then he only just decided just load up on the cantaloupe.
I guess when we see that on BuzzFeed, new amazing diet, strictly eating cantaloupe. I guess we know who coined that one.
Yeah, you better drop the media tip to BuzzFeed, see if they'll pick it up.
I forgot he only ate
yeah, it's sometimes if you look back when we were younger, we did some stupid stuff when we were younger, and I all of us have been friends for quite some time. And I know we used to do some very dumb things, including riding bikes down massive hills and kind of onto main highways to get to the promised land, a.k.a. the sheets that lives down the road.
A little bit of a touchy subject here.
A little bit of a touchy subject.
Nah, it's not, I don't know.
Does someone want to run through the story? How about a non-biased part? Okay, so
you should tell the story.
So typical 7th, 8th grade shenanigans, right? You want to go somewhere, but no one can drive. So the next option is the bikes, right? The bikes.
Oh, we all lived on our bikes. I think Tanner actually left his bike at my house more times, so whenever he just got dropped off, it'd already be here. And I know you used to borrow my dad's bike.
Oh yeah, Kyler had a plethora of bikes. So whenever you'd come over, there was you probably
was
had
never a shortage of bikes.
Yeah,
which is kinda
we
crazy.
just squatted up and rode our bikes wherever we needed to go.
So it was a
Sheets.
warm summer. It was warm summer afternoon, and Sheets is but a mile away, and the bikes are ready, and we're hungry. So we get on the bikes and we start riding through the neighborhood, and you get to the end of the neighborhood, and there's a
Big
moderately steep hill that you have to go down. Which if you're pumping the brakes, it's fine.
But there
However,
also it runs out of there's no sidewalk there either too. It runs out of the sidewalk.
Yeah, so you get to around the middle to the bottom of the hill, and the sidewalk cuts off, so you have to go on the road. So, I believe Kyler had the bike that didn't have brakes, or maybe
Was it before the brakes were broken?
No, the brakes actually broke on the way back up when John chucked it into the woods. I was actually on the way back up the hill.
okay. So brakes were still working.
Isn't that your dad's bike?
Yeah, it was my dad's bike.
He yeeted that shit.
Yeah, he yeeted it pretty far.
And we were gaining speed, and we're at the bottom of the hill. And of course, we're on a main road, so there's cars coming up and down, which we're all relatively cognizant of.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also trying to get there quick, and we're stupid 14-year-olds. So
Stupid middle school.
yeah,
Honestly, but those are some of the best times though, being 14.
oh,
and
definitely the
stupid.
best. The best. Definitely the best of
The
times.
stupid times were definitely some of the best times we've ever had in our life.
100%. And our good friend Tanner, to continue the story, Tanner, I believe Tanner cut off Kyler
That's not how I remember.
at
but
the
it might have
bottom
been
of the
that
hill, which caused Kyler to have a very large scrape slash
So
burn slash
No skin.
wound, gash wound.
So do you know that like whenever there's like the sidewalk, there's that little space between like the sidewalk and the grass. You
Yeah.
know, like so Tanner cut me off and I had to.
I had more than enough room. I don't think this is my fault at all.
Well, anyways, this is how I remember the story. So Tanner kind of cut me off and I had to yeet myself to the side of the road to not get hit by a car. And when I did, I got to the sidewalk and I got stuck in between that little spot between the grass and the sidewalk, and eventually hit a rock, which stopped my bike, and I flew forward and just like 10, not 10 people, like probably like a solid like 5 feet, like just scraped forward on the sidewalk, and I was like torn up, arms, legs, face. But then I just got up and rode to Sheets because the big Moz was calling my name.
The story does have a happy ending. We ended up at Sheets. We got our food.
And I don't even think I knew this happened because I was so far ahead of you guys that I don't think I knew what happened.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no,
the
no,
back
no.
of the pack stopped to check on Kyler.
Actually, I don't think anybody stopped checking me. I think I ended up being
Were we
last.
the last two?
I think we were the last two, and then like I came
don't
like
remember.
because took a minute to get myself back up, and you guys were already all there, just like ordering, and I walked in, and you're like, "Yo, what happened to you?" And I was like, "Oh, funny story, Tanner."
Yeah, he went at me.
Yeah.
I don't think it was my problem. But
Well, you know what? Agree to disagree.
It's a classic middle school story, but I think it'll live in infamy forever.
I definitely think it's gonna
yeah,
live for me.
Kyler took some bruises off that one.
Yeah, you know what?
And I still don't think it was my fault, but it might have been my fault. I don't know.
Hey, you know, you never know. We can never tell.
We'll leave that one to the gods.
Yeah, we'll leave that one up for
We
debate.
need a third party.
Well, speaking of party, we also during that summer had the infamous Big Man Bash. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Vaguely.
I remember most of that night.
So
And not
not-
due to intoxication.
no. Actually,
we were in
maybe
eighth- we were in eighth grade.
maybe a sugar high of a Baja Blast. That was the only potential thing of
Yeah,
not
I think
remembering
I
that
drank
night.
like 20 of them that night. That was that wasn't great.
No, it's not. It's not great. But the thing is, like, we're here right now talking about like these memories that we have, and that's like building friendships that have built on for time and time again through like middle school, high school, and like even now we're in college. We all come back home, meet up together. It feels like we never left each other's sides. So, what is one thing I think that people will have to struggle with? Like, whenever you're going back to college, you know, you have your college friends, but you don't have the luxury of having the amount of time to build up these relationships over a long period of time like you have with your, you know, close home friends. So what is something that you do to kind of make sure you have time to grow those bonds with people that you have in college?
I mean, one thing I always do is if like I know I'm gonna have like homework and stuff too, like I try my hardest to get it done so that like I don't have to worry in the weekends and I can just chill with my friends and I can do whatever I want. I don't have to worry about like, oh, I have an assignment due soon or anything like that. Because, you know, like, I don't have to worry about that stuff when I'm trying to hang out with my friends. And
Yeah,
go
well, I
out.
mean, you know, especially because college is a lot more, as you know, Dom mentioned earlier, you
A
know,
lot
college
more-
is a lot more taxing.
Bigger
you know,
workload for sure.
Yeah, bigger workload, more exams. Exams take up more of your grade, so you
Bigger,
know,
harder assignments take more time.
yeah, you have to like prioritize, you know, that, but also at the same time, you still want to make sure you are building strong bonds with people
It's
in
definitely,
college.
yeah, no, it's definitely important to keep your social life in college for sure. Because that's like, it's kind of what it's all about. It's meeting new people,
Definitely.
going out.
I think to answer Kyler's question, for me, I got lucky. So my major, it's a 5-year master program, and I would say a rather intense workload. And a lot of the people that I've met in the same major as me have become my best friends up at school. So for me, it's not really when you're gonna have free time. It's I think to solve the issue of having fun that I've come to figure out is how can you make doing your work fun. Just because I feel like, especially this semester, for sure, is 90. I have fun on the weekends, but the Monday through Friday is
It's a grind.
it's classes 8 to 4, and then it's work. You're doing work.
I mean, I've seen some of your Snapchat stories. You're leaving that drawing studio at like 7 in the morning.
The studio is it's fun. We do cool projects, but it also sucks up so much of your time, and it sucks because I do enjoy the work, but it gets to a point where it's so much that one, it makes the assignments we're doing less fun because I'm spending 30 hours a week in there after class, not including the 9 hours of class time that we're in there a week. And then that's taking away from one, having a more active social life, and also taking away time studying for other classes. So the past couple weeks I've had exams, obviously, but I've had to be in the studio working on the projects that are going on at the same time. So it's kind of like choose your battle. Like,
Pick your poison.
do I want to do well on this project, or do I want to study for this exam?
Well, you're talking about the studio, and you are an architectural engineering major. I know, like, you didn't really know how to draw a ton. Like, not like you didn't know how to draw, but like, definitely a skill that wasn't your highest.
I would definitely say my artistic levels compared to maybe my math ability or
just anything, just
or
general
things
stuff.
that I've been comfortable with.
Yeah,
I've never been, like, as a kid I like to draw, but it was never something I pursued, just because, one, I didn't think I had the raw talent that you could just hop in and create good art. I think through this class my skills have definitely become stronger.
How does someone like that, like going into the major knowing that they have to do a lot with drawing, is that something that people you think would be scared of, scared off of if they don't have the skills? Because I know you, like you just said, you didn't have the strong skill, but you still pursued the major, full well knowing that you would have to acquire that skill kind of late in, like, whatever it's like cerebral development, say. Like,
sure.
A lot of the skills that you gain when you're from a child. So how did that scare you at all, or did you kind of find a way to make that work?
So it didn't scare me just because I was looking forward to that part, because I knew it was something that I didn't have the greatest skill set coming in with, but it was something that I wanted to develop. So I kind of went into it with, like, this is something I'm going to learn. Hopefully it's something I enjoy. And I think now that I'm doing it more and I've gotten better at it, it is something I enjoy. I know kids in my major at my school, a lot of them are talented in math and physics, but they're not creative in the way of doing the sketching or the drawing projects. So there definitely are kids that are second guessing themselves now because they're like, oh, I wanted to be an architect or I wanted to be an engineer, but now I'm doing drawings. So it definitely is, if you're not okay with you have to have some level of creativity, and not that you have to be an amazing artist, but you have to be willing to work to make a good product. So that is something kids definitely struggle with.
You have to be able to put in the work to get the result that you want.
Yeah, I would say I'm not the quickest when it comes to working on those art projects, but if you're willing to sacrifice the time to still get a good result, I think it pays off.
Well, I mean, speaking of, like, people also sometimes change their plan of life whenever they go into college, change their major. I know I did. I originally was doing computer engineering, and now I am in full business swing. So I know, Tanner, if you want to, I know you originally started in a different major than what you are now, and you want to kind of talk on, like, how that happened and how that kind of transition went for you?
Yeah, so when I applied and got accepted to West Virginia, I applied as pre-athletic training. And so, like, I went in, I did it, like, I had a class, like, specifically for pre-athletic training students where you basically had observation hours and you went and saw like the athletic trainers who work, for the different sports teams at the university, and then like gradually you would start to help and do stuff. And as it went on, I kind of realized maybe this isn't for me, which was great. It was good that I changed my major because like I'm definitely happy where I am now, and I think I'll probably be better off in the future.
What are you doing right now?
I am in sports management now. But like, I think I'm kind of grateful that they had the observation hours because without that, I wouldn't have known that this probably isn't for me. And I'm kind of grateful that, I changed when I did because I think I'm probably going to be better off. And I love what I'm doing now, which is good because, it's definitely important to love what your major is because that's probably what you're going to be doing the rest of your life.
Especially catching it early in your college career.
Yeah, I'm glad I caught it my first semester. So because I didn't really put me behind, and I'm already in my new major and everything, and I'm on track, which is great.
Yeah, no, because that's a big worry, especially, I had that worry too whenever I transferred out of a university. I was like, am I going to be behind whenever I do this? Like, it's a very daunting process, and it's not the easiest of things. So, for people to go out and do it, if you're ever thinking about it, it's definitely, it can be a challenge, but at the same time, you have to do what you want to do. And if you're not happy with what you're doing, then you definitely got to pursue something that you're happy with and that you'll be having a good time doing for the rest of your life.
Yeah, no, I would say if you don't like what you're doing right now and you're in college, definitely think about changing your major because that's what you're going to be doing the rest of your life. And you don't want to be stuck hating what you do the rest of your life.
Of course. And no one ever wants that.
No.
But anyways, let's move on to another topic. So speaking of sports management, I know that a big game in the sports world, especially for Penn State's coming up. It's actually tomorrow. Penn State at Ohio State has a lot of playoff implications, probably potential to make or break which one of these teams actually makes the playoffs, considering how the rest of the college football playoffs go on other college teams. But this could be a very interesting weekend for Penn State after that loss to Minnesota. So Dom, do you want to touch on how do you feel as a Penn State fan feel about going into this game?
And Penn State student.
And a Penn State student.
Yeah. So going into the game, I don't want to set too high of expectations just because I know Ohio State is a great football team. I think Penn State is also a very good football team. I think we have the ability to win the game tomorrow. However, we're going to have to play our best football. I think special teams is going to be the real kicker. I think if we can win the special teams battle, our last couple matchups with Ohio State, that's kind of what it's come down to. Who's won the special teams battle?
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely has been.
I can think of like that that blocked field goal Penn State had. I remember them like they took that kickoff to the house a few years ago.
Yeah, Saquon took that in the
that.
2017 game. It was the
opening kickoff.
Yeah. He took it like 97 yards. I was actually just watching that clip.
Yeah, don't sleep on special teams for sure.
No, special teams definitely, nowadays people kind of overlook it because it can definitely be penalized a lot more than any other type of position. But it definitely still makes an impact on the game. It can, even though it's like a quick touchdown or something like that, but it definitely can swing the whole type of momentum going for each team. Tanner, as like you're a very, very big football guy, very big sports analyst.
Love football.
I know you love football. You and I are both big football guys too.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel? Give an unbiased opinion, because I, as a Pitt student,
for
the
Penn State Ohio State game.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to give a little biased opinion, saying that I think Ohio State more likely has upper hand. But that's also just me saying that Justin Fields has had an amazing year, and it's kind of hard to put up with a quarterback that's in the top four for the Heisman race.
Two big factors are it's at Ohio State. And Chase Young, who got suspended, is back.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be very, very high.
As a defensive player, that's kind of crazy.
Especially that's nowadays, you don't see Heisman talk as Heisman talk doesn't come to defensive players nowadays.
No, the last person I can think of that was in the Heisman talk was Manti Te'o, and that was a while ago.
That was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, for me, back in the day, you had Charles Woodson who won the Heisman.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
But he played a little bit. He played on the offensive side of the ball too, and he returned kicks.
Exactly.
Punts,
if you don't play on the offensive side of the ball, you don't get Heisman talk.
There's never been I would say there's never been a true defensive Heisman player. So he's a big factor.
Especially coming off a couple game suspension, he's ready.
He's gonna be pissed.
He's gonna
be
really
suspended. Mad. I think it'll be a good game. I hope it's a good game. Because that's
the thing that sucks is that noon kickoff time, though.
Yeah, I don't know why that's at noon and not 8:30, because that's the best game all day, and it makes absolutely no sense that you would put your best game at noon when typically that's your 8:30 slot, especially because
they're giving a game day, so you would assume
even a 3:30.
You'd assume they'd give it at least an afternoon game.
Yeah,
I'm not sure who up in the office decided on that one, but Looks
Hey,
like he's a
well,
couple
you know
screws
what?
loose.
If Tanner gets up in that sports management world, maybe he can
Yeah, maybe
make a
I
difference
can
for
make
that.
some changes, bro. Make some changes, bro. No, but I mean, going back to it, the line's 18.5, which is very, very significant. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna go, but Vegas always knows something. I don't know.
Yeah,
You're
hopefully
not liking- you're
they
not liking to
guess
hear
wrong.
that, but
Hopefully they're
I don't know.
wrong.
I think it might be closer than that, but
Well, speaking of like
I would.
football,
I mean, I
schools.
just hope for a good game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, and going back to like football at these big schools, I mean, Penn State obviously is a massive football school, and same with West Virginia. Pitt is, kind of split a little bit more between football and basketball. So how does it kind of that football atmosphere kind of get you going with, say Saturday game days? It's like it seems that everything all day, game day, focus on the game, and the whole basically university stops for game day.
Yes.
How does it feel?
I mean, I personally look forward to game days. I love them. I mean, tailgating is a huge ordeal down at West Virginia.
I'd say
everyone
same
tailgates.
Same at Penn
Yeah.
State, yeah.
Well, I know, real quick for Tanner, I know you worked as a ball boy for the Steelers.
Yes, sir.
So how does that college atmosphere differ from, say, the professional football atmosphere? Especially
I'd
because you were
say-
on the ground floor on the
yeah.
field, too, as well.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge because West Virginia's a different case for football because they don't have a pro team, so everyone in the state roots for their team.
If you like football in West Virginia,
Yeah,
you're
that's
rooting for
your
the
team.
university.
Yeah. So it's like a big deal for the whole state, which I didn't realize I didn't realize how big it is for the whole state, which I should have. But now it's definitely different for pro and college for sure. There's definitely a difference, and I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge. Tailgating is definitely more of a thing in college, I would say.
Well, kind of going
Especially
back.
because you got students.
Of
Yeah.
course, naturally, yeah. But if you had to choose, say, the game to go to, say, to relive again, West Virginia beating Texas at home, or how about I know you worked this game when the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Baltimore Ravens on
Immaculate
Christmas,
extension,
the immaculate
baby.
extension of one Antonio Brown, who, if we don't have to name him, we will not talk about him. But
Number 84.
but if you had to choose between like those two giant atmospheres, which one would you choose? Do you think?
I mean, I would personally love to see like a big West Virginia win like that, but it hasn't really happened since I've been there. But I mean, like the Steeler games are fun. But I've seen big wins there. Like I've been there for big playoff games. I've been there for like beating the Ravens with no time left. And I definitely want to see like West Virginia do the same thing.
Kind of give West Virginia a shot because they kind of haven't had that big game
Like
yet.
because like last year we had such high hopes. We had such a great offense, and then we kind of fell short. So I'd love to see them get there. And I've seen the Steelers get there, and I think the Steelers will be great. So they've always been great as long as I've been alive. I haven't really witnessed any bad Steeler games. I've witnessed some bad West Virginia games. So.
I would beg to differ. I've seen some bad Steeler games, especially with that,
yeah, I don't wanna
Mr.
talk
Mike Tomlin at the helm.
I don't want to talk about the game last week.
11 lost challenges straight, or was it 12?
I think it was 12.
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
Wasn't great.
Hey, speaking of jeez, you think we can get a,
You want IG?
Yeah, give us an OGs.
I'm not the IGs guy, but I can do an IG.
No, yeah, you give me an A, jeez.
Hey, G. Shout out to Carter Moriarty,
The classic.
OG AGs.
Classic OG big men.
BMG,
Joke.
baby.
Oh, boy.
Squad up.
Honestly, though. So going back to kind of like the college atmosphere and vibe and stuff like that, since college is so short, how do you kind of make sure that you cement these memories in your, brain for a long time? Because I know we were talking some about our old, middle school, high school memories, but we kind of had time to build those up, and we exercised the same type of platform for a long time. College, you really, sometimes people take a weekend off and like don't even go out because they have to focus on academics so much. Like, how do you determine when you need to like kind of just not give up, but kind of set aside academics to kind of make sure that you're having a good experience at college?
I think so. For me, I really truly do enjoy what I'm doing. So, and kind of just putting it off to the side, I haven't found that to be possible yet, and I doubt it's going to get to a point. So
I mean, it's only going to get more difficult.
yeah, it's only
going to
it's only going to get more rigorous. So I think my tactic that I've used at least throughout until now is making the schoolwork. Not obviously, it's not going to be as fun as going out to a party or like just hanging out with your friends, but to make it as fun as possible. So when I'm pulling all nighters in the studio, there's like 70 kids in there. on a big night. If a project's due the next day, everyone's in the studio that night. Almost all of them pulling all-nighters. So we'll order pizzas. We'll bring a big speaker. We'll make that our social scene for the night. Yeah. So I think for me, it's to answer your question more directly, what I've given Saturdays. I try to make Saturdays not a schoolwork day. So as you talked about before, football being big at Penn State, being big at big football schools.
Yeah.
Up until this point, obviously the collegiate football season's coming to an end sooner than later.
Yeah,
we're definitely
winding down.
Yeah, we're definitely on the
Does
back
Penn
end.
State have any home games left? I actually don't know. It's a genuine question.
We have a home
Is there
game
one this week?
next Saturday,
Okay,
but
next Saturday. You'll still be here.
it'll be senior night, or senior day. I don't even know what time the game is. I probably won't be in attendance, as a lot of students probably won't, just because our Thanksgiving break goes until.
I know the same way.
won't come back up
Pitt
until
has the
Sunday.
same game. We have our last game against Boston College, and
Yeah.
I doubt anybody's going to be there.
Our last home game's tomorrow, actually. So I know friends who stayed, but I don't know. I didn't not with this how the season's been. I was like,
Well, and also because it's it's Thanksgiving break, you want to come home and spend
Important to
time with your
come home,
families.
see the
And
fam.
that's one of the most important things is family, especially being a college away and not getting to see the family all the time. And so, speaking of Thanksgiving and family, do you guys have any Thanksgiving traditions that you have with your families that you do, every year?
Yeah. So Thanksgiving Eve, if you will. Not sure if that's the correct term.
We'll let it slide.
The eve of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the day before Thanksgiving. My family, we have a big movie marathon. My mom will put out a plethora of random assortments of food. Nothing too fancy or special, but we'll all stay in. We'll watch movies. We'll just all hang out. Make some punch, non-alcoholic, but
Of course.
just have a good time.
Of course.
Yeah.
You don't want little Sal getting plastered,
Yeah,
do you?
8-year-old. No one's drinking on Thanksgiving Eve, but just
No,
hang
sir.
out with the family, and then obviously the turkey on Turkey Day. But
And what about you, Tanner?
I mean, for me, when I was younger, we used to go to Florida. We'd go to Marco Island, Florida for Thanksgiving. And we did that up until I want to say my senior year of high school. And we just started kind of staying back. And I don't want to say we have any crazy traditions we do, but obviously, sit on the couch, watch all that football that's on. Turkey Bowl to start off the day, of course.
Definitely.
Always got to play the Turkey Bowl.
Yeah, so I know that we were talking about family traditions, but our friends
This
tradition.
is a big friend tradition.
Big French tradition, big old game of Turkey Bowl on a brisk Thursday morning on North Boundary Park around 7:30 in the morning. Oh, it's
Bright and early.
Bright and early, baby. You got to get there because the fields do fill up there pretty quickly. If you don't get there,
No one screws around.
No, yeah. We get there, we set the cones up, we get a little quick warm up in, pick some teams, and
Get
it's
a
game
stretch.
on.
you got to start as soon as possible because you did not want to be. You want to play football, but you don't want to be out there any longer than
Yeah.
the game's gonna last.
Also, you want to get yourself moving because once you do, you can start to warm up a little bit because it's always
If you stand there, you're gonna freeze a little.
100%. But I know that this coming week actually is Thanksgiving, so we're all looking forward to our big game of Turkey Bowl. It should be a great time.
Hopefully no catastrophic injuries. You wouldn't believe that there has been catastrophic injuries. I think was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. It was our senior.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah. We actually mentioned it. Our senior year of high school, we had a gruesome injury on the Turkey Bowl.
Honestly, probably the worst injury I think I've seen in person.
I think I still have the picture on my phone somewhere.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to look for it.
I don't know if well,
I had it at one point.
luckily this is a podcast and no viewers will actually see the picture because it's very gruesome. But
Wasn't
To
great.
give some details, we were playing our
our
own game of football, and there was a group of I'd say mid-30s men playing another game of football. On
6, 7 of them. They're like, they want to get a bigger game going.
Yeah, so we joined up. We had, I think that made it around 8v8, but it was slick. It was definitely below freezing.
And it was very muddy. It
muddy,
rained the night before.
It was muddy and icy and not great conditions for two-hand touch football.
And we've been playing for a while, so that field was already pretty tore up.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we were all wearing cleats too because we go hard at Turkey Bowl, obviously.
Yeah, we don't mess around.
No, we don't.
but I believe that one of the guys that joined us was going on a slant route.
It was like the last play too. It was like
we
it
called it. We were like, all right, next score wins, something like that.
I think it was tied.
It was tied. I think they were like about to score too. It was like
in
front of the end
We
zone.
were real close. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were driving, and this guy goes on a slant route,
and he jumped up.
He jumped, and when he came down, his leg went two directions.
And he started yelling.
His ankle was just out, popped out.
It was a less severe Kevin Ware. It like you could see. I feel like you could see his bone.
It was
through what 3 layers of sweatpants.
Yeah,
that's
it was cold, so everyone was layered up.
Yeah,
but you could still see it.
We called ambulance. Police showed up. Luckily, there was a doctor on site.
There was a doctor who stabilized his ankle, which was good because obviously none of us were gonna know how to do that.
Yeah,
we were just kind of standing around like, what do you do?
Yeah, you couldn't leave, but you also couldn't help in any ways.
Yeah,
so
you felt helpless.
We were sitting.
Yeah, I mean, we called the ambulance for him, which was nice, but besides that, we really could not do any much in that moment.
My dad, who was an ER doctor at one point, showed up, but I mean, the ambulance was already there, so it didn't really matter. So
I just felt bad for the guy. It was Thanksgiving morning, and I just remember he was freaking out about work because he was a driver. I believe.
For I think it was for Coke.
Yeah. Because he was like, I can't do my work now. He's like, I'm gonna get fired. Yeah.
So we were kind of just trying to
put
moral support.
Yeah,
like everything's gonna be okay.
Because obviously we can't do anything medically.
We were very unhelpful medically.
I think Mike's sister knew that guy too, right? I think they graduated together or something.
It was someone. Everyone kind of knows each other in our little suburban town. So,
but ever since then, we've made sure to if Turkey Bowl's kind of getting to a point, we're gonna call it. After that,
no one needs to get hurt on things.
Yeah, especially now. I think just me personally in college too. Every time you get sick or I can't imagine breaking a bone in college right now. That'd be the biggest inconvenience.
It'd be impossible to go to class, especially for me. I mean, that's all hills.
Yeah, I know.
I would not be able to go to class.
I got half sick and I almost was I probably shouldn't go to class today. I'm feeling terrible. I threw up or whatever, and I'm well, I can't miss class because I gotta be there to learn the stuff. Because I have
and you're paying for it.
You're paying for it too, but also when you're under the weather and you have something going on, it's impossible.
Makes it that much harder.
It makes it that much harder. College is always just. I mean that's the same with work too. I'm assuming once you get in the real world, it makes it so much more difficult. If you break your leg when you have 3 kids and a job, I can only.
A lot is riding on. He's gonna be able to drive that Coca-Cola truck.
Especially when you didn't break it at work and you broke it playing football.
You're not getting
playing a pickup football game.
You're not. Yeah, you're gonna either lose your job or hopefully get a. Yeah, hopefully everything's alright. Yeah, this podcast. Well, how about we dedicate this podcast to the fallen soldier of Turkey Bowl 2017?
Yeah, we'll dedicate this podcast, the inaugural KylerKast, to. The fallen soldier of 2017. We hope that your leg is recovered by now. Hopefully, it's been 2 years, and that your your job's safe and everything. And
if you're listening, this is for you.
This is for you, man.
I'm gonna see if I can find that picture, bro.
Oh my goodness, stuff's crazy like that. I mean, speaking of these guys, especially those guys, they played football in high school. I'm pretty sure, and the thing about playing in high school and stuff like that, all these sports in high school, you think that you'll go play pro and all this stuff and go to college on a ride and all this stuff. I mean, I know Tanner, you were actually probably the only people that we really know close to that you were really looking at potentially playing in college.
Yeah, I was very, very close to verbally. I mean, it was Division III, so it's no big deal. But I was very, very close to. I mean, even right as I visited, I was very close to saying, "All right, yeah, coach, I'm in." And I'm really glad I didn't, to be honest. Nothing against that university or anything, but I'm much happier at a big school where I don't have to worry about going to lacrosse practice every day, and I can relax and not go to a small school.
Student athletes that life is tremendously difficult on top of all the practices, the schoolwork, the team meetings, just having social life in general. Which I mean, most of their social life is just with people on the team at that point. But I know that one of the big things that happened within recent memory is the NCAA now allows college players to make money off of their name, which is a big thing because.
Was that effective when it was released, or is
2020? It's either 2022 or 2023.
Yeah, it's it takes a couple years to implement, but it's now
that's coming.
It's definitely coming in the future.
It's so far away that they could probably change all that shit.
Well, I mean, because I think that Tanner and I were having a conversation about this earlier, but there's a lot of kinks involved with that. Like I was mentioning, I know Tanner's very much in favor of this ruling, and I'm not disagreeing with the ruling, but I do feel like some of the things is that if players are making money off their name, especially in college teams, you really only know maybe the quarterback, the running back, one of the big wide receivers, and maybe one big defensive player. A lot of these, like, other
Just the
players.
stars.
Just the stars. Just the stars.
If you're not big into your team, you're gonna know the players that they show you on TV. So the people they highlight, which is typically your quarterback, your running back, your wide receivers, and maybe like some standout player on your defense.
Yeah, exactly. Like all these offensive linemen, defensive linemen,
Yeah,
most likely are not going to make anything off of this deal. Like they'll make something, but very slim to none.
They don't get the love that those guys, that your skill position players get.
And that's one of the things I think is kind of things that has to be worked out within this deal, like given the time frame, because there will be kind of some animosity between players if all of their attention's given
then
to
you're
it.
comparing paychecks of how much did I make off the jerseys that sold last week, which
how much did I make off
might not
my
be
brand I made.
might not be the most healthy thing.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing too. I mean, because whenever you're in a pro football league, your players are paid regardless of position. There is a very big, like, offensive linemen are paid ridiculous amounts of money because they do good work. They might not get the recognition as quarterbacks do, but they still make the money because it's a professional level.
Definitely.
At a college level, it's not going to be the same type of thing. So, and you have any comments on that, Tanner?
I mean, there's definitely issues with it, but I think it's a step in the right direction because, like, I mean, I have some kids, since I'm a sports management major, there's a lot of kids on the football and basketball teams who are also that major. So, like, I've grown to know some of them, and, I mean, they grind, man. Like, it's class all day in the morning, and then your afternoon is all dedicated to your sport. And then you got to find your time. You got to study, too. You got to go to class. You got to put your work in. You got homework. You got tests to study for. So, I mean, they're doing the same stuff we are.
You also got to, like, take care of your body, too.
Yeah,
you got to actually treatment, sleep, actually, like, eat food. I know, like, a lot of college kids that I've known, like, they just forget to eat. I've actually definitely gone days, like, just totally forgetting to eat because I'm so busy.
Like, I've been to a few of the facilities down at West Virginia, and they have, like, dining halls in there for the players because, I mean, sometimes you're there all the time. Like, I mean, they gotta eat. I mean, like, you gotta eat. They gotta do everything we do.
Too. You can't just be putting anything in.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you're playing a D1 sport, that's serious stuff. So they're making sure you eat. They're making sure your body's right.
Yeah, you're not putting a McDonald's down your throat.
No,
you're like getting nice. You need protein.
Getting your proteins, your vitamin B8, 13.
You need
42s.
your greens. Get a little bit of carbs in there, some rice.
Yeah, so they're under the same stress we are, but they have a whole sport added to it.
And especially the pressure of just, playing that sport in general. I mean,
especially on a national level. Like, all three of our schools they all play on, TV, so that adds pressure, too, especially when you got those diehard fans out there.
Speaking of, I mean, I don't know if you guys knew, but Pitt played last Thursday, which was also the night of the Steelers game.
Is that North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we won in overtime, which was great, but it was just very odd scheduling because
you guys already have attendance issues.
Yeah.
And then you have a Steelers game.
Yeah, but actually, surprisingly, the turnout was not that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, and ended up being pretty solid. I mean, for especially the Steelers game going on. I know. I personally did not go to the game. I just tailgated and then I watched the Steelers game. Yeah, because I have to. I mean, I love Pitt, but the Steelers, the city is the city.
Priority number one.
And fortunately, that game did not go the way that anybody wanted to. Especially ending with Mason Rudolph getting badoinked off the head with his own helmet.
He got beat with a helmet on national TV.
Yeah, isn't that something? And now we play the Browns next week too, which is crazy.
And they moved it to a 1:00 game. Did you see that?
Yeah, they moved it.
Did you see that? It was supposed to be a 4.
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a 4.
They moved it to a 1.
They probably wanted less attention to the game.
Well, that and people are thinking they don't want all the fans to get all liquored up before the game and start fighting in the stands. Because I mean, I don't know if you've ever if you check Twitter and you see anything about the Browns Steelers stuff still going on. There's people going. I mean, I was pretty heated too. Like, there were people going at each other.
Tanner, your whole Twitter feed is just it's like Tanner Colin Dunlap's tweet about it saying I've never hated Cleveland more in my life. And
not a big Cleveland fan at all.
And that situation definitely did not help.
Mistake by the lake.
And it didn't help that they also a week later after Myles Garrett and his appeal claimed that Mason Rudolph had a racial slur that he said to Garrett, which caused him to initiate contact.
I think the big thing is, if that was true, obviously I don't know exactly what happened. I don't think that happened. If that was true, if that's what fueled Myles Miles Garrett?
Miles Garrett,
Garrett's
yeah.
rage. If that's what fueled it, that would have come out as soon as he was talking
That's
to
what I
anyone.
Yeah, that would
I think that's
you
a
would not wait
huge-
a
that's a
week
huge
to
factor
release
to
that
consider.
The
news.
thing is, if you go back and look at the head referee is standing there the whole time. So I'm sure the league asked the head referee, "Hey, what did you hear?" And they said we.
That
didn't-
would have been the
Yeah.
first public statement to
See,
come out.
and he didn't say anything after the game, and then none of his teammates knew until it leaked. And he
By
never,
Josina Anderson, who
Yeah.
she claimed that
Who
she's never
also-
seen Miles Garrett act so aggressively, and it had to be some racial comment that was thrown at him.
Yeah, and she speculated that before it was even released.
Yeah.
And she was the one who broke it too, which is kind of fishy, but I mean, whatever.
And
the
you
whole
know,
situation is.
honestly,
it's a messy situation. But you know,
I hate that we're still talking about it, to be honest. I wish it. I mean, it's not gonna go away, but I hate that it's still such a big topic. It's been a week. I mean, it's been a week and a day now.
I don't know if you watch ESPN First Take at all, but it's been a topic every single day since last Friday. It's always something new about the day.
And the problem is that like the league doesn't want to. I mean, like they're trying to get away from all this violence with the head-to-head hits and all that, and then
Then you take a helmet.
then you
and
have someone
throw it at
hitting someone.
someone's head.
Yeah, on that. That's a not. I mean, that wasn't like a 1:00 game when there's 8 other games.
No,
on.
it's
That
Thursday
was-
Night
That was
Football.
the game at the time.
Yeah, it was a Thursday night. Everyone's watching that game, and then you got some. And now, yeah, and it hasn't gone away, and that's gonna. I mean, the league doesn't want people talking about that, and it's not going.
It's
away.
not going. It's definitely not going to go away.
No, especially with how the appeal of the suspension and everything. It's
I mean,
it's
I
a
know-
pretty big deal.
Whenever I watched it, I was already just so mad that I just shut everything off and went to bed instantly.
Yeah, I wasn't very happy the next day.
No, I was not very
I
happy
was
the next
I was
day.
pretty pissed about it. I still kind of am.
No,
but it's
and-
whatever.
Yeah, luckily that we had our formal the next day, so I kind of
you were all right, but
yeah, I kind of got something to distract me from.
We'll see Cleveland next Sunday. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
down.
we'll
I'm
see how it
excited.
goes.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
we'll show them what's going on.
I wasn't. So I was watching the game at one of my friend's apartments, and it got to the point. I think there was a couple minutes left, and at that point,
You turn it off.
I think the game was out of reach. So we were like, "Screw it." We walked to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well,
Me-
because
me and
this
our
whole
friend
event
Mike-
happened with the thing. There was
There was
8
8
seconds left
Yeah.
in the game. Yeah.
So we-
That's funny you say that because I did the same thing. I turned it off and my phone started getting blown up. Do you see what's going on? They're fighting. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? They're fighting. Like
Yeah,
the game's over.
yeah, the
Like,
game's over. I was so
I
confused.
figured it was the typical just scrum at like
Yeah,
they
like,
knee it
they're
and
just-
then
You know, they were shoving each other.
Yeah.
They weren't- yeah. So then I turned it on right in time. I rewound it and yeah, I saw him hit him with the helmet. I was like, oh, they were really, really fighting.
Yeah.
Because I know our lacrosse group chat from back in high school was just blowing up with
that-
like everything was going at it.
Yeah,
and
I got really, really heated
Yeah.
off that when I probably shouldn't have because it's got no impact on me.
it's
but
got no
I
impact.
don't
But
want, I don't want to see anyone get hit in the head with a helmet. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
no, but you represent the city, and you never want that on anybody. I mean, I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now. I mean, I ride or die Steelers, maybe.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that was tough. And
I just hope
was
I just want it to
ultimately-
go away
Yeah,
as soon
me
as
too.
possible.
Because
It-
the Steelers have dealt with so much drama over the past year. You really just want it to stop at this point.
See, you gotta be worried about Mason Rudolph too. I mean,
He could have
got
like
hit-
he
yeah,
could
but
have
got hit in the
actually
head,
died that
and now
night.
these
Yeah.
allegations are coming out. Where the hell is his head gonna be at? I mean, this is his first ever year starting. It's been a tough
Way
year.
too many headlines about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did
He
get
threw 4. I mean, no one's talking about. He threw 4 interceptions. Like that's.
well. The thing is,
that's
like,
not great for any quarterback.
well, no
I don't
one's-
care who the hell you
the
are.
thing is, no one's talking about the game itself. The game was sloppy for Pittsburgh. Now Cleveland's one up a game, and now they're only one game
Yeah.
behind us. Like the sad thing is, Cleveland won a game the first time they beat the Steelers since what, like 1999 or something like that.
2014.
2014.
It was the first time they'd beat them since 2014.
Oh, what was the record then that they've had?
Oh,
since-
they've only beat us like 8 times since
We're like 20-9 or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
And,
in the
and
last-
then the tie from last year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is that Cleveland beat us for the first time in a while, and no one's talking about that. That's not the big thing. The storyline
yeah,
is
no.
the whole fight. Exactly.
I saw someone tweet it out and was like, Cleveland won but found a way to lose with that fight because no one
I think that's a great. Yeah, I think that's
No
a
one
great.
That's a
talked
great
about-
way to describe
no one
it.
talked about them winning.
They won the
Everyone-
biggest game in how long, and that somehow
was
they
their
figured out how to.
That was their Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
that was big for them. They've never. I mean, like it was weird for me. Like I don't remember them ever beating me like beating the Steelers like that.
It was usually you see Browns on the schedule. You
Yeah,
go, okay,
you're
we'll
like,
win
all right,
these
good win.
games. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 easy dubs, man. I
And
mean,
now it's the Bengals that are the new Browns.
the Bungles.
the Bungles. Hey, you know what? Life goes on, but let's hope the Steelers get that dub this Sunday against Cincinnati.
And that no one ever gets hit with a helmet ever again.
Yes, we hope that for the best.
Yeah, let's keep that out of the game.
Yeah, let's not have that become an issue again. But one of the great things is that still united like the city as a whole of Pittsburgh. I mean, everybody
Definitely got people going. Yeah.
I think if the game ended without that, it would have
It
went in the opposite direction. What the hell is Mason
yeah.
Rudolph doing? What are the Steelers doing? The Browns, that should be an easy win.
See, like he almost like he didn't. I don't want to say he got lucky because he got hit in the head with a helmet, but no one talked about he threw 4 interceptions. Everyone was like, he got hit in the head with a helmet. He got assaulted on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like not enough people were talking about how he struggled bad. He should have thrown 5 picks. They dropped another one.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
That was a bad game.
But I mean, that just shows,
All around.
one thing about the city of Pittsburgh is we rally behind our city, and no matter what happens,
the football team.
especially the football team, especially the Penguins, not so much the Pirates, but the Penguins and the
Thanks.
Steelers.
Give it 20 years, maybe
Thanks,
we would.
Bob Nutting.
Yeah, hey, well, you can only do so much. But especially the city of Pittsburgh is just, I personally believe, is one of the best places on earth. People are there amazing. And
Very passionate fans.
Very
for
passionate
sure.
fans. And speaking of Pittsburgh, tonight was Light Up Night. Light Up Night started tonight.
That's right.
Yes,
And
indeed.
the tree down at PPG Place is there. It's up. Ice skating is happening.
Have either of you ever been to Light Up Night?
I have
never-
not
I have
been to the
never
Pittsburgh
gone.
Light Up Night.
I don't think
never gone.
I've never been to Light Up Night. I've been to Kennywood's Light Up Night.
I've
I-
been, well, yeah,
yeah.
I've gone to that with you, but I've never been to the true like.
No,
Light Up Night
apparently
ever.
it's like a huge deal. And like
I saw there's a lot of people down there.
yeah, I just still never gone.
I think the traffic is the thing that turns me off. It's
And there's a Penguins game tonight.
Oh,
you got
yeah.
that added on too. So you
Well, I
have
know.
more
I was
traffic.
leaving Pitt earlier today. I mean, I also left like 3:30, but still, I hit a ton of traffic. I didn't get back here close to like 5:15.
Yeah, and that it never would take that long.
No,
Nothing,
it would barely take half an hour,
Yeah.
honestly. But I mean, the trees up, the little market square, Santa District's
I was gonna say,
there.
yeah, they have this big Santa spectacular thing too now.
The shops
so-
are up. It's a great place to take a date. Actually, it really is. Like I've definitely we've definitely like done like group dates in like high school there. Remember that?
Oh, yeah,
we've done
definitely.
it.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, it's definitely. But now I don't know if I have like a.
Like I kind of wish I don't know if like someone invited me to go from college and I was like nah, but I kind of wish I would have. Like it looks cool.
it does
Like
look
I
fun.
love the city. I haven't been downtown since the summer.
Oh yeah, you guys. Well, that's the thing. You guys aren't in the city. Like I'm
No,
in the
yeah,
city.
You're,
Time.
you're there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not there.
Well, you definitely have to come down sometime and check out. Like, there's being close to downtown is really awesome. And just
Yeah,
like being able.
For sure.
Yeah.
Did you see that they had a fire in the Market District too?
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't
oh
see
my
that.
god.
There was like a.
Any
I don't know what a
injuries?
4-fire alarm is, but I think that's probably major. It was like they hot one firefighter, but he was like dehydrated or something. So
Okay,
it wasn't
it's nothing
major.
serious,
No,
yeah.
but that happened yesterday, and Light Up Night was tonight. So I wonder if that affected anything.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sure it probably did.
I know, like, we talk about all the stuff that happens in the city, like, in Cranberry, but, like, when you're down in the city, like, whenever the bus fell in the sinkhole, like,
I forgot
everybody,
about that.
yeah, everybody talks about that type of stuff. Like, that's just, like, hilarious. I'm sure you saw, like, the costume, but, like, just walk,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you walk
I
around,
did see
like,
that.
South Oakland, like, and, like, I know a
Dressed
lot
up
of people that
like
went to,
that.
like, South Side, like, people were, like, there's multiple people walking around in these bus costumes that, like, I just, like, think that's hilarious because it was a 2-day turnaround between when the bus happened
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
Halloween.
right by Halloween.
Yeah, like, there was very impressive that multiple people got these bus costumes.
I think you gotta love it though. You
Yeah,
make
no, if you wore that costume, good for you. You were creative as hell. Good for you, man.
Yeah,
I
honestly.
wish I would have thought of something that funny.
I mean, I dressed up in a penguin suit.
I didn't even dress
you've
up.
had. I think you've had
I just
that
wore- I
costume
just wore a
since,
jersey.
since 8th grade.
I've seen you wear that before.
I think it
bro.
was sophomore year of high school. I've
Okay,
had it since.
okay.
And actually,
Hey.
I actually tore it in half last year, so this was a replacement one that I wore.
You ordered another
You bought
penguin
another
suit.
one?
You had the
Yeah.
opportunity. You stick to your guns, I guess.
Well, I mean,
respect it.
I think it's like, so here's my thing.
Hey,
So
boy,
like
don't fix it.
during Halloween, during
this
like,
broke by a new one.
Yeah,
well, okay,
just
here-
buy a new one.
well, okay, here's my logic. So if you think about like Halloween in college, it's actually a lot bigger deal than you ever would be in like high school and middle school. Like it's a big thing. People dress up, you go out, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Hollow
people
weekend,
have
baby.
Halloween weekend,
themed
yeah.
Parties.
So
all
I
weekend.
try not to wear the same costume whenever I go out. So my penguin suit's always like, more of the casual type thing. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that's great. But I also like have opportunity for like the next night to do something. So like it's usually 2 nights, potentially 3 nights, depending on where you are or what you do. But I always need a different costume. The penguin's always a funny, good costume to have. So it's, great to have.
The
It's
classic.
a classic. I think next year I'm looking to buy a lobster suit.
A lobster.
Yeah.
I could get down with that.
You can go down with a lobster.
This Halloween.
I need to get a costume. I didn't dress up last year either, and I need to change it.
This Halloween, I actually took a trip to New York with some
That's
of my
right, yeah, you
classmates.
were in New
Oh, yeah,
So-
you weren't
and
there
that
at
was
all.
That was during Halloween weekend. So
See anyone dressed up in New York?
No, I honestly no.
I'm sure. I mean, that's such a
No
big
no
city, but-
costumes because Halloween was Thursday this year.
That's right.
So
yeah,
that
it's
was
at a
right
weird time.
after. So we were in
Yeah.
New York all day Saturday. We got back around 1 a.m. I guess Saturday night, Sunday morning, and at that point I'd been on a bus for 8 hours. I had been
Out of it a
probably
little bit.
walking 12 miles throughout the city. So I didn't go out that night. But for Friday, the bus left 5 a.m. Saturday. So Friday night wasn't a huge
Yeah,
night.
you're not going balls
Yeah,
to the
you
wall
had
on
to.
Friday
it
night.
It had to be
Yeah.
a light night. So I went with I had a wig in my closet. I had a Dirk Nowitzki jersey from DH Gate.
Ooh.
So I went with
DH Gate is one of the best sites I have ever gone on in
Definitely.
my
Who
life.
shows you DH?
Tanner, you got me on DH Gate.
Yes, sir. No,
I
DH Gate is clutch.
I actually just got a Minka Fitzpatrick color
you
rush
told me
jersey.
that, yeah.
Yeah, for like $15.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised. A lot of people do know about the website, but I feel like college students, people, frat boys, people that want jerseys, they're dropping so much money
Money.
on these jerseys, and
Yeah,
I
mine's
I
from
was
China,
wearing.
You couldn't tell. You could not tell me.
No.
I was wearing the Dirk jersey that Friday night, and
Yeah.
I had a bunch of people go, "Oh, that jersey's so dope. Where'd you get it?" I'm like, "DH Gate." They're like, "What? How do you're wearing jerseys every weekend to the day longs, and you're telling
Yeah.
me?" I think that's crazy
No.
because they're very high quality for
They're
not
actually
what you
they're
would
stitched
expect.
too. They're like highly stitched too. Because I know I bought a Pitt jersey, James Conner, one, and I know one of my friends of mine. He has one of the James Conner ones, but he bought it like at the official Pitt shop. His was
He probably
$120.
dropped a lot on that.
His was 120. Mine was
Yeah.
20, and mine is higher quality than his, like beyond higher quality. Like people thought like
yeah, like I got a West Virginia jersey off of there too, and it's
Your
stitched
Pat-
and
your-
everything.
your
Yeah, my
Pat McAfee one,
jersey.
right?
You
Yes,
can't
sir.
find a jersey that costs more than $20 on that site, which is amazing.
like maybe it's like
Because the
20,
cheapest
25 maybe for like one of those like outlandish like college teams or something like that. But like, besides that,
Yeah,
like
because I think like an official jersey, even I don't know. I mean,
You're
I
spending
think it's like $120.
you're spending
it's
120.
120 is the average, yeah,
Yeah, I mean you can get one for $20. You're saving yourself $100, and you can't tell the difference.
and it's free shipping too. The only thing is it takes a while, but like that's fine.
I mean, you know where it's coming from, so I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, are
it's
you really
fair.
gonna
you have to
complain?
expect that it's gonna take a while.
like
It's-
that's like the
it's-
downside. But honestly,
It's worth it
for
sure.
$100, oh my god, yeah, I'll wait a month.
Quality
I don't care.
check, price check, shipping.
It's
no
free
check.
usually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what it
free.
is.
Free
Free
shipping. Takes a couple weeks, but I would
Yeah.
say overall a fantastic site.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
it's
no, for sure. I don't even know who showed me that, but I'm glad I found it because I mean, otherwise I'd be dropping way too much money on
Oh,
it.
I probably
Or
wouldn't
I
have
probably
any
wouldn't
jerseys.
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never, actually, yeah, I take it back. I never had any jersey until someone showed me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think I ever purchased. I mean, I received like one jersey is like full
I never
price.
bought any on my own.
Never
They were
not
so expensive.
Yeah.
That's like a Christmas gift you'd ask for. It's so
exactly.
expensive.
Yeah, but now I think I have like 5 different jerseys now that I've ordered from there.
I have a lot. I think I might have like 15 now.
Oh my god.
It's definitely growing. The DH Gate.
I mean, I
collection
don't
is
know if I'll
definitely
get
growing.
any more, but like I got a lot off of there, man.
You got
I
your
got
money's
into
worth.
it. I got into it.
Did you guys? They sell like fake Yeezys on there too.
I know,
They
my-
sell, like,
my
all this
roommate actually
fake
bought a
designer
pair.
stuff. Really?
Yeah.
How was the? I'm curious. How was the quality on
He
those?
said they were really nice. Yeah.
My,
they were-
oh gosh, one of my. So like obviously I told my dad about the place and he showed all his buddies and one of his like buddies' son got some like knockoff Nike shoes
Oof.
and they said they weren't great. But I
not
mean,
great. I wouldn't expect
Like,
Yeah,
I
but
guess
great
it'd be, no.
fake shoes.
But if the shoes were like $30, you're really gonna complain?
yeah, especially
Yeah.
when the style of shoe you're
You-
buying.
Yeah, I mean it's different wearing a jersey and a shoe.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
a big difference there.
I mean, shoes. I feel like
you
I would invest money in shoes because they're gonna last for
Yeah,
a
I mean,
longer
you could
time.
wear- I mean,
and wear shoes
Yeah,
daily
you can wear
too.
a shoe
I
every
mean.
day. You're not gonna wear the same jersey every day.
Oh, of course not.
And it's going through different stuff. Obviously, your shoes are getting a lot more on them than you're getting when you're wearing a damn jersey.
Well, I know that you guys can probably attest to this, but I kind of have a spending issue.
I was a big Amazon guy.
I order
Dude,
way.
you
Takes advantage of the
Oh
Prime.
my gosh, you're gonna go crazy on Cyber Monday this year, bro.
Don't even remind me.
That's the best day. That's screw Christmas. Kyler's Christmas is
Cyber Monday. Yeah.
Or whenever Amazon has their little special day.
Oh, Prime Day.
Bro, Jeff Bezos probably knows your name.
Well, I know.
It's like, oh damn, Tyler's ordering something again.
Well, because like, so I originally like started like I got the free trial for 6 months, right? And then
You got into it like early,
Like ninth
eighth-
grade.
Eighth, yeah,
The
eighth or
eighth-
ninth
ninth
grade.
Have you
grade,
been
yeah.
paying
You
Prime
were
ever
all
since
in.
then?
no. So what originally what happened? So I got the free trial, and then I didn't realize. I was like, oh crap, I should probably cancel because like I only wanted it for the free trial. But apparently, I called them to cancel for like my full year next of like Prime membership, and they're like, "Yeah, sorry, we can't really do that." And I was like, "Why not?" And they're like, "Well, you already used the free shipping a total of 44 times since you paid for the membership, so you can't kind of go back because you 44 total items, yeah."
That is ridiculous.
So let's
You
also
definitely took advantage of the free shipping.
yeah, but also it wasn't all for me. I also like ordered stuff for like my mom and like my dad
That's fair.
because I had
Your
the
girlfriend
Prime.
at the time.
Yes, and my said girlfriend at the time when I was in 9th grade. But anyway, so now my family has Amazon Prime. I always use it there, but it's actually like really nice to like get things that I need like at school with Prime. Like it takes 2 days and it's there. Like if I need something like really quickly and I don't have time to run the store or something like that, I'll just order it.
No, I'm so happy Amazon's a thing.
Yeah, it's great. Do you have the lockers at WVU?
No.
You do have them Penn State, Amazon lockers, Amazon store?
Or we might. I don't
I
think we do.
I think we have them in the freshman dorms.
Yeah, because
I
it's like
think.
those are really cool because there's like the Amazon store at Pitt and it's like
Okay.
1 day shipping. It's not even 2 days. Like you'll get it the next day and you just like go to locker, scan a code, and it's like it opens and package there.
Okay, yeah, no, we definitely didn't have that.
That's nuts.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, they might have been
Bezos
like
will take over the world.
Yeah.
I think.
no. Yeah.
Well,
it's gonna happen.
Speaking of big tech companies, did any of you see the Cybertruck from Tesla?
I did. I don't.
What a fail, man. Like I'm sure they'll correct it, but I mean,
I don't think they will.
you don't.
You don't?
I
Think
don't.
What did you see the demo where they cracked the window? With
Yeah.
The,
What do you throw at it?
It looked like a rock.
Was
yeah,
it a rock?
I think it was just a rock.
I thought it was like a soup can, but I mean,
It was definitely
I don't know.
cylindrical
It was-
in shape.
Yeah, that's. But either way, I mean, it cracked it right away, and he didn't like wind up and throw it.
No,
Like,
it was a hard
did
throw.
like a,
Did you hear what he said when he did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
He's like, oh.
yeah, he's like, oh, and Elon's like, well, you know what? That's why we're in design stage
he's
still.
Like, we'll fix that.
I think the design of the actual truck. If
think
you haven't seen a picture of it,
Definitely
check
look it
Twitter.
up.
Go, just
Yeah.
type.
You'll find. You'll
You'll
find
it.
it.
Somewhere.
Type in Tesla truck, and you'll probably see
Cybertruck.
half
I
memes,
don't-
half pictures of the truck.
It's
It's
not.
not. It's not a sleek design.
There's
I-
no.
I-
There's
it looks-
no. There's no bed. Like the whole point of a truck.
Well,
is having a bed.
here's my. It has a ramp. Did you know that actually? There's like a ramp.
I did see. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I did
ramp's
see the
like-
ramp.
Yeah,
I
didn't do the
personally
research
kind of
you guys
dig the
probably
design.
did.
I kind of dig the design. Not gonna lie.
I don't hate it.
Did, like
It's
what,
definitely the.
one of
it's
the
different. It's very different.
my biggest thing that I like the most is that the headlights. There's one
I
solid,
saw
like
that.
one line across front. I think that's super sweet.
I think that's
I might blind the person you're going by though.
yeah, but like I think
I think
sick.
it looks cool, but
yeah.
I think with how much
that looks like no other truck.
with how much anticipation this truck was getting, because Elon has said for at least I think it's been at least 3 years that he said they're gonna eventually put up a pickup truck.
Oh, 100%.
And
Yeah.
With how much time and consideration they've probably put into it, I was just expecting something revolutionary, and I haven't looked into it too much, but I don't think the design of it is. I feel like that's something I drew when I was 6 years old. On like when you draw
I
a
saw
truck.
someone tweet
Yeah,
that.
you draw a
Did
couple
you see
lines.
that people were saying it looked like the Halo Warthog truck?
I did see
yeah,
that.
like I played Halo. That looks
Yeah.
exactly something that would have came out of that
Well,
game.
I know one thing they were marketing hard on is it's $40K, which is that's the cheapest truck out there. I mean they're not gonna find a brand new truck for $40K.
Oh yeah, definitely
anymore.
agreed. But
So-
but still, like apparently, like the pre-orders are still coming in like pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like they're still getting the numbers for it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have that brand like that,
I mean, like it's cool that it's cool because it's very, very different. And I mean, if I saw someone driving by, I'd be real interested because it's got like it's.
I would
it's
like
a
to see
weird
what I
design,
feel
but
like it
it's cool.
definitely looks different in
Gotta see
person.
it in person. Yeah.
yeah, it's a definitely in-person type thing.
Yeah, seeing it on TV probably doesn't do it justice.
Oh,
Or
100%
on your-
not.
I mean, on your phone.
Well, I don't even know where I'm gonna see that in person though.
Yeah, true.
You are seeing more. I feel like
I feel like Teslas
on the
are
even
growing.
on the ride home, because I came back from Penn State today. There's just more and more Teslas are popping up,
Yeah,
which
no,
I
they're-
think is a good thing.
They're
I don't.
definitely growing for sure. Like I'll even see them down at down at school. I'll see kids driving. I'm like, damn, you're driving a Tesla?
The foreign exchange
Yeah,
students.
yeah.
Definitely.
But still, I mean,
Yeah.
you're driving a Tesla right now.
yes,
bro?
yeah, it's insane.
I hope
but-
that becomes the norm. I think.
Oh, I
electric
hope.
cars-
I mean,
I'm
electric
sure
cars.
eventually that's what's gonna.
I mean,
That-
Not
that's
not
his
It's
goal.
only gonna be Teslas, but they're all gonna.
I mean, if
eventually
I had
shift over to
the
that.
money to get an electric car, I would. But that just doesn't have.
Yeah,
I don't have
you
the
gotta-
luxury.
you
That's
gotta
going to be
you
a
gotta
big
have money for
factor for
that.
when they can get that price down too.
Oh, 100%.
For people that aren't can just
Don't have
afford
extra
anything.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're looking to buy a vehicle.
I mean, I'm
and
sure
that also makes sense.
You guys live off
economically.
campus. I don't know. Do you both have an electric bill or utilities included in your apartment rent?
Utilities
are
is
included
included
for
for me.
Oh,
Next-
okay.
Yeah, the
Are
place
they
I'm
good for
living.
you?
Well, we have to pay electric is the only thing.
Okay.
So like, I have my electric bill, and I'm
How
like,
many roommates do you? 3 roommates or 2?
2 other roommates, so 3 of us total.
Yeah, so you split it 3 ways.
Yeah, 3 ways. So we average around $100 a month on our bill. Like
Total or each?
Total.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's not
But like, just
terrible.
still, like thinking about like if you add like charging a car on top of that, like I can only imagine how much your
Oh
bill's
god,
gonna
I didn't even
shoot
think
up.
about that.
That's like my only thing about this electric bill is like, because our electricity is, unless like you have some type of
they have
solar.
charging stations and stuff too, but you can't go chill at a charging station.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you're not gonna be
you
able to.
can't sit
You're
there
gonna
all
want to leave
day.
it plugged in overnight.
Well, especially if these become the norm, then not everybody's gonna have the luxury of always staying at a charging
No,
station.
they're-
Because
yeah,
like
they're all
usually
filled
if you
up.
go one, like there's open because not many people have that type of
Yeah.
car. But I mean, that's the society we live in now, I guess.
It's going to be. It looks like
Growing up.
I know, boys.
we're growing up. Cars are growing up.
Well, I think it's actually interesting the way that we are actually growing up. We kind of grew up with like the technology evolution. I think that's super cool. Like,
Yeah, like you and I were talking about this earlier, like with social media. Like we just grew up as it like got big.
yeah,
I think we're on the brink of when a lot of the social media sites, the new technology, the new devices that have come out, that wasn't a thing before us, but as we were coming up with it,
We grew up in it.
yeah, which
sure.
I think is cool to see because we got
Yeah.
to kind of
was
see how
saying-
that changed our
I was
daily
saying
life.
earlier though, like I feel like it'd be really cool just to have just to know what it was like when there was no social media at all, or there wasn't even cell phones. You know, like when our parents.
You go
grew
back
up,
10 years and it's completely
even
different.
even
Yeah.
then, but we were too young to even
Mhm.
really remember that.
I mean, like the thing, like I'm working at the Apple Store right now, and like there's the I'll have just some inclination to buy something because like I'm there and I get like a discount. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I want to buy an Apple Watch because one of my coworkers, she was talking to me, and she's like, because I have my Apple Watch, I don't use my phone like ever. She checks her phone maybe 5 to 10 times a day because she just checks her watch. Like, and when you're on the watch, you can't really like do a lot on the watch. It's kind of limited, but you acknowledge things. You just like see it and you're just like, okay, done.
Definitely,
Like,
that's a lot of the quick actions you're doing on your phone. You check, I got this notification or I got this text. Let me respond.
But then when you pick up your phone, you don't just pick it up. You usually like do something on your phone. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You pick it up, you see something, you answer text, and you go on Instagram for whatever, and it's just a continuous cycle of like one thing leads to the next.
Definitely.
So like
Yeah.
that's like one that like I actually would love to like not use my phone, but like a lot of communication like things are on my phone. Like I don't have like a lot of sometimes people like group chats like. Lush group chats and like people I need to talk to. I don't have their number. I have their Snapchat.
Or their group me or
Yeah,
whatever,
or group me too. Yeah, and it's like I can't like do that on a watch. I kind of have to do that on my phone.
I don't have an Apple Watch, and I feel like if I got one, I'd never use it. Do you have one?
I don't.
You don't have one?
I've considered getting one. Didn't they come out with one that's like super cheap, like $200?
Well, the Series 3 right now is kind of
So
I think it's like
one
a
version older. or
yeah.
whatever?
Well, it's 2 versions older now.
Oh,
They're
okay.
they're the Series 5 right now, but that one's it's kind of
Dang.
yeah. I know it's going at
They're
300.
just pounding those out.
Yeah, well, these new ones, the Series 5, are actually insane. It's like there's a ceramic, titanium.
There's over the.
Oh my God, these are insane. Like some of these watches can come up to over.
They grew fast too. Like
They really did.
like out of nowhere. I'm the only like my mom. Well, she has a Samsung, so she has like the watches they make. But
Oh, okay, yeah.
my sister and dad both have them, and like I know my dad doesn't use that for anything.
Oh yeah,
Like he just has it to have it,
yeah, and that's why I'm debating about getting one because like I feel like I just have to have. But if I like prioritize it in a way to like get me away from my phone,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
then hopefully that would work in some aspect. But
mean,
I can't.
I know it'd be nice in class too. Like if so you can just check and see what's going on.
Yeah, like I mean, no one really wants to like. I mean, we're like in an age where everybody's on their phone, but like I really don't personally want to be on my phone.
I would agree. It's definitely a guilty.
That's what I'm saying. Like
a
I
bad
feel like it'd be
habit.
cool just to live when there was not. I mean, there was no social media, no phones.
Like back when we were like kids, like the way you got in contact is you call someone like
On the
landline.
home phone.
Like,
Yeah,
I remember,
on
like,
your landline.
I remember like calling like someone's house like from my first grade elementary class to be like, hey, did you want to like hang out?
Yeah.
like-
You want to play?
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
play?
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Meet me at the tree outside the front of the neighborhood.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
you just like go and like knock on people's doors, like you didn't know if they're home or not. Like, you,
do people do that anymore?
I feel
actually,
like
yeah,
that-
no, I know some young kids still do that because like I know like a lot of parents kind of like making sure that they still have that.
Yeah.
because
I
like
definitely think they should. Like I remember doing that. Like I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't like text someone as like a 5-year-old. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm glad I had to go and knock on your door.
I definitely think I've like gone halfway across the neighborhood, like walked there, knocked on someone's door, they didn't answer, and I just walked
walk
back
back,
home.
yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, they're not home. I was like, what else can you do?
I mean, we kind of did that at one point too. Like we would just bike over to people's house and see if they want to do anything.
Oh yeah, we did that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we did that like 8th grade stuff.
Yeah.
Man, dude.
I think before
Everything's changing so quickly.
before
we're
we
all growing up with it.
before we stray away too far on the Apple path, I was on Twitter and someone put a thread together talking about the sales of AirPods, and the numbers that they put out astonished me. So they started selling AirPods in 2017, and I think there was approximately 16 million AirPods sold, and then the next year there was 30 million, and then either 2019 or 2018, whatever year was the next, was like 74 million sold. And someone put based on there because there's only been 2 models of AirPods now with the Pros 3.
Yeah, and those just came out.
The
recently, right?
AirPods Pro just came out.
Yeah,
and those are gone. Like they're barely even holding up in stock. Like they're not going to be there.
Yeah,
People love them.
Someone put out the fact that if AirPods alone was a company, they'd be like the 60th largest company in something crazy.
I didn't even think about that.
AirPods could stand alone as a top.
It's that
company.
big of a market, yeah. The wireless earbuds are just insane.
If I think about like when I'm walking around campus, people either have like Bose, Beats, or you got AirPods. You know,
I mean,
Do you guys have AirPods? Or?
I have AirPods.
I got Beats.
Okay.
I got the AirPods, but I wear them everywhere.
But
I wear them everywhere. Even if I'm not like listening to something, I put them in just so like I can have like some type of like thing like just to block out
That's
sound.
how my little sister. She always has one of them in.
Yeah, I'll like sit at work and like I work in the computer labs. I'll always sit one with like one of them in, so I can like listen to
That's
something.
the one thing. Like I wish I could just have one headphone in sometimes, but like I have like I have like I have a big headphone, so I can't do that.
Well, that's the benefit of the AirPods. Like you can only have like one if you want.
Yeah.
I think as a user, having them for
Do you have them?
yeah, I have. I have just
Okay, so you both have. Yeah,
the
I
base
knew
model.
you had them. Yeah.
I got them last Christmas, so almost
Me
coming
too.
up on a year. Yeah, that was a huge. Everyone came back from school with AirPods.
Yeah, I think
But-
my sister
Oh
got
my
them for
God, it was
Christmas
great.
too.
That was a huge Christmas gift. But having them for a year, I don't think they're nothing revolutionary other than being wireless and being able to have one in at a time. Like
Yeah,
the
they're
sound
so
quality's not
small.
great. There's not noise cancellation. It's just
That's the one thing I like.
Apple's so good at coming up with these products that are
No one else
that
can think
fit
of.
so smoothly into our daily lives that might not have the best quality. Well, they're good quality, but not like amazing quality and not the best
I'm sure,
performance.
my headphones probably like sound better.
But
than
it's just the aspect of like being able
It's
to
the
fit in.
convenience.
And it's Apple, yeah. The
convenience,
convenience
Yeah,
factor
for
mixed
sure.
in with how well they work with their Apple. So everyone has an
the
iPhone.
new ones, the Pros have noise cancellation, and
saw that,
I
yeah.
have a pair of actual Bose headphones that are supposed to be like very high value noise cancellation, everything. The noise cancellation on these AirPods Pro are better than a high quality
Really?
Bose. Like I'm saying that whenever I put it on, I had the noise canceling. It's just me and that
Yeah.
music. It was insane. It's actually very very high quality.
That's how my Beats are. Like I had never ever had noise canceling headphones. You put them on, it's like weird almost.
It is weird because like you don't
hear anything except for what you want.
which is like kind of nice, but it's also kind of
You
weird.
feel like you're out of it at the same time.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I don't know if
for
I
sure.
really like it or not.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah.
But anyways, I mean, it's just all this tech that's coming up in the world now. It's just crazy how it's
It's all changing,
evolving
bro.
so
It's all
much.
changing.
And I can only imagine when we're older, like working, like some older people now are kind of like struggling just to understand like iPhones and all that stuff.
Yeah, like grandparents.
yeah,
yeah,
and-
they want the flip phone.
Yeah.
they don't want to learn how to use an iPhone.
But
They just want the
whenever
flip
we're
phone.
grandparents, we're gonna look back and we're like, where's this touchscreen? I don't like this hologram crap.
it's
Like
gonna
give me an actual physical phone with a touchscreen. And like that's gonna
I
be
know, like,
us.
we make fun of like people now who like don't like to use iPhones. We're like someday like
We'll
we're
see
gonna
how
be
that-
those people who like there's new technology. We're like, no, just give me
And
my
just
old
give me
iPhone.
my
Yeah,
iPhone
gi-
11. or
Yeah, give me
whatever.
my iPhone. Like I don't want this crap.
Yeah.
iPhone 30. No, I just want the
Give me my
iPhone.
iPhone 10 back.
I only need 3 cameras. I don't need the 14 cameras that your phone has, or whatever new technology will be out when we're sitting in
We're
our
old.
in our homes. Just-
Yeah. Well, I would like to say thank you both for coming on to the test trial run of the KylerKast.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for having us. I had
Actually,
a great time.
this is a great conversation, and I can't wait for more things to come in the future. So, is there any parting ways do you want to say to the viewers?
Kyler, I'd just like to thank you again for having us. If you're listening, in the future, hopefully Penn State ended up beating Ohio State, and I think we'll end with a little we are.
And yeah, thanks, Kyle. Thanks for having me. And let's go Nears, baby.
All right, and I'm going to finish this off since we're all signing off with a little school. I'm going to say H2P, baby. And this is it for the KylerKast. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a good night.